Hello, my dear folks. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow with the East West Show under G&E, the umbrella. Of course, once again, we're talking about the Baltimore situation, for which we have done 6 shows in the past weeks, ever since the things brought up to attention to, for all corners of the United States, if not the whole side of the world. So now we learn that not only those officers were charged with 5 possible accounts of law-breaking, but also the DOJ, Department of Justice of the United States, on the federal level, has launched already an investigation going into the department. The word is that the entire department to determine if there is anything wrong as a whole. And the term is that to find out is there any discriminatory policing or law enforcing actions or going on there. Anyway, so to go into the analysis, I have applied myself to a good friend, Stephen Cho, attorney, a famous attorney, wonderful attorney of Orange County, to come here to share his views on this issue. So Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And by the way, it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
You must be very busy, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. What are you busy doing lately?
Well, just my practice. I have a lot of estate planning cases, a lot of probate cases. Also, as well as some civil cases that I do. So,
I see.
So it's been busy. Economy's picking up, so that helps.
The simple logic is that the busier the better.
Oh, yeah.
The busier the better money, right?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, I can't complain about the money.
With me, the busier, whatever busier, however busy I get, I work about the same amount.
Yeah.
Situation, different situation, the same way. Joking, because I am taken good care of, right? That's for the organization that I work as a team member, I like so much. That's the why. Well, anyway, what is the overall reading in your mind, though, about the whole thing, starting from the point about the death of Gray, all the way to right now, the investigation? Let's lay down the picture before we enter into, the sector and the sector and the sectors after sectors of each, right? Shelley, please.
The situation started with Mr. Gray, who was arrested by the Baltimore PD, and there was based on depending on who you talk to, the situation was that there was a physical scuffle. Right. He was arrested, handcuffed. At which time he called for help because he was experiencing some physical distress, which was ignored. And then he was placed into the transportation van of the police.
All right.
And again, based on the information given that's available now, is that he was not properly placed in the van, and he was
like a human being.
He was tossed around the back of the van when the van was driven,
right.
Which apparently contributed to his other physical problems that he was already having. So by the time they realized it, they rushed him to the hospital, and then it was too late. They weren't able to save him, and he died. Of his
to
physical.
Prolong the story, he was put on life support for several days.
Right.
Yeah, only
right.
a prolonged.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like an immediate death, right?
Right.
So that's part of it. Then go ahead, please.
And obviously, since there was a death in the police custody, they had to investigate the situation, and that's how all these things came out. And of course the community that Mr. Gray is from. When we're up in arms about the whole situation, and of course that got the attention of the media, and that's how the news came out. And I guess in addition to what's already been happening with all the news about the police shootings or police deaths of the police themselves, as well as suspects. it just added more fuel to the fire across the entire country about this issue about how suspects are treated by the police and things like that. And so and I guess the most telling of this particular case is that this happened in a predominantly black city, African American city, and with a predominantly African American police force. Whereas all the other cases that you've heard so far are not the same, and so that calls into the question, about how much race plays into these situations, and on top of everything else, the police department, or the mayor, who is also African American, she was the one who actually called for the Justice Department to investigate this case, and instead of waiting for the Justice Department to investigate themselves. She called for the investigation. I'm sure the Baltimore PD wasn't too thrilled about that, but that's where we are now.
All right. Okay. And there's one story about the charges in between, right? Even before the investigation was launched by DOJ. So, and what I recall, the charges, of course, according to my homework, goes all the way to second degree murder, all the way down to misconduct or something like that. As attorney, though, in your eye, how do you comment about the ladders stepping down and down and down to the bottom as to misconduct?
You mean as pertaining to the police themselves?
Yeah.
Well, obviously there was, at the very minimum, some negligence by the police because Mr. Gray was not properly secured in the back of the van.
All right.
And that just contributed to his injuries even more than what he already had.
I see.
And then obviously negligence also on the arresting police officer who ignored his plea for medical attention. So that's the where the negligence came in as far as some of the charges that were levied against the police officers. I think there was the main charge against the arresting officer, I don't know his name, but whoever the arresting officer were, that's the most serious charge that was levied against him for, I believe, secondary murder charge. Obviously, because again, according to the witnesses who were present, this is again, all I'm getting this is from the news reports. Mr. Gray was not. Mr. Gray was not. He was not fighting against the arrest, and he was not resisting. But yet they apparently a lot of force was used upon him, even though he wasn't resisting.
Steve, do me a favor though. You don't have to take the same stand where I take, which you do not do, as always the case, because you're an independent person, independent attorney though. Just for the purpose of doing a better show, though, you may assume yourself as a defendant attorney for all the defendants, all the 6, right? So, and there is a saying made by the chief of the police department saying that none of the officers did anything wrong. Each of them can be vindicated, right? So, and the quote unquote says, no officer injured Mr. Gray caused the harm to Mr. Gray. That's why each of them can be vindicated. You may go ahead and invest whatever. Do you think with the fact that given so far available to the public eye though, so you still as attorney of defendant have a point of defending?
Defending the police officers?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As a defense attorney, the defense attorney's job is to defend his or her client to the best of his or her ability, given the circumstances. And under American jurisprudence, a person is innocent until found guilty. So these police officers are entitled to their day in court to present their evidence to show why they're not culpable for the death of Mr. Gray, and it is up to the prosecutors to prove that they're culpable.
So far, they are not spoken yet.
No, they have
right?
not.
All right.
They have not.
So they have their chances to wait for their turn, right? Okay, my dear audiences, it is always a theme or a target at this show, though. When something happens, we want to lay the cards, whole deck of cards in front of you by providing all information necessary, all takes from all directions necessary for you to make your own take, right? So today, in once again looking into the event incident with Baltimore, happening in Baltimore, we have my good friend and a famous attorney out of Orange County, the Honorable Attorney Stephen Cho, to come and join us in sharing his takes. I made him a defense attorney. As a matter of fact, he's not defending, but I made him an attorney for the purpose of a better discussion. So stay with us. When we come back, we will probably see what's inside the story. There's still more hidden. Stay with us, please.